Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you've seen and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, could Gareth Widdop have played his last wire game? Catalans captain in horror injury during same game? And a roundup of all the trials and tribulations in the Championship and League One. We begin though with the results and scorers and some unwanted pushback, shall we say, from fans of one of the disappointed teams during that weekend. Let's get into it. And we start back with a game that we covered with the highlights of Newcastle versus Bradford, as Newcastle trounced the Bulls 53 points to 10. But it was the off-the-field parts that weren't covered, but were addressed by the Bradford owner recently. According to unhappy Bradford Bulls fans who took to social media, they said Bull fans are reporting that when they asked to speak to Nigel Wood after the routing at Newcastle, they told them to make me an offer for the club and I'll consider it, before turning his back on them, heading into the corporate box and pulling down the blinds. These were claims by the fans directly at the game. Whether they're true or not is open for debate, and hopefully they're not, as a club like Bradford needs stable leadership at this time after many years in turmoil and also dropping down the divisions after appearing in League One not more than 5 years ago. Anyway, it was deemed so important that Bradford had to issue a statement, and it appears that it was from Nigel Wood himself. As he said in the statement, although not personally on social media, I have been made aware of the significant allegations made against me, namely that I disrespected Bull supporters on a Friday night game after the game at Newcastle. Let me be clear, this is complete and utter fabrication. While the club ordinarily doesn't respond or react to the numerous inaccuracies frequently peddled, this is a serious untruth that, on this occasion, cannot be allowed to stand uncorrected. For the avoidance of doubt, after the game I remained in the room from where I had watched the match, in conversation with club partners, volunteers and Newcastle and RFL officials. I had no interaction with any Bull supporters outside of the immediate group at any time, and yet people I may have never actually met may promulgating blatant lies to the contrary. They are simply peddling malice and mischief for their own ends. This, regrettably, is not an unusual phenomenon amongst some. As a matter of principle, I resist talking about the performance issues immediately after any match, when emotions can simply be too high, whether this be with the coaches, players, officials, or fellow supporters. However, for the record, Friday's performance by our team, whether the way they wear playing kits, tracksuits, or blazers and ties, rank amongst the worst experiences in my 50 years within our sport. Anyone associated with it should reflect on their performance, and I apologise on behalf of the whole club to the many supporters who continue to support the Bulls in pursuit of our long-term objective to make the club a sustainable proposition in Bradford. In that respect, myself, along with many colleagues, friends and volunteers, remain totally committed to the cause. Furthermore, head coach Mark Dunning, myself and CEO Jason Hurst look forward to meeting with the supporters on Thursday's fan forum, when we will all be available to answer questions as full as we can. For those unable to attend, if you wish to speak to myself or Jason Hurst on a one-to-one basis, please feel free to contact us direct from @Ozzle. Make of that as you will. Anyway, let's get back to our regularly scheduled episode. The second game that was played on Friday was Sheffield 18, Batley Bulldogs 20. It was another win for the Batley side, who came out 12 points to 18 victors with a tough second half, making it 20 points to 18. It was Halafihi who scored for Sheffield, with Broadbent and Thackeray adding tries. Anthony Thackeray still going and still trying to be convinced to stay away from retirement, but Guzdak scored 3 conversions. Batley had Morton to thank for 2 tries, Campbell and White for a try apiece. Hooley scored at 1 conversion and a penalty, otherwise the game could have been a lot better result for Batley Bulldogs. Lee continued to have their grip tightened around the top of the table as the Centurions were now 66 points to 0 victors against Workington at Workington. Josh Charnley got his first try for the club, but Nene McDonald scored a hat-trick, while Joe Wardle scored twice, Ingano scored twice, Aikens, Ipapi and Amone got a try apiece. Kristen Inu converted 11 tries. Barrow Raiders won 40 points to 6 in a comprehensive victory, which wasn't assured at half time as they only led 10 points to 6 over a Whitehaven side. There was 2 tries from Ritson and 2 from Samet, while Burke, Costello and Anthony Iraria got a try apiece. Shaw converted 6 goals during the game. Holiday and Williams were the first half point scorers for Whitehaven. London Broncos, who were using Ebbsfleet United's football stadium as their home ground for the final time, lost 22 points to 42 against Featherstone Rovers. This despite only being trailing 14 points to 6 at half time. Parata, Walker again scoring for the 3rd consecutive week, Grant with 2, and Leyland's kicking 3 goals were the point scorers for London Broncos. Briscoe, 2 from Gale, Sami Essa, Joey Leilua, Jesse Selnafeu and Riley Jacks were try scorers for Featherstone, while Craig Hall kicked 5 goals. And finally, John Keir's Widnes side got another victory as they beat Dewsbury 20 points to 16, despite trailing 12 points to 6 at half times. There was 2 tries for Owens, 1 for Dixon and 1 for Ince that got the tries for Widnes. Owens also converted 2 tries. For Dewsbury, they had Gill, Graham and Blackmore to thank for their tries, while Sykes kicked 2 goals. The last game of the weekend sees the Halifax Panthers face the York City Knights at the Shea Stadium, kick-off being 7:45 PM Greenwich Mean Time. 2 sides that are looking to put some pressure on those above them to keep in the playoff picture come the end of the season. And this is how the Betfred Championship looks after those games played over the weekend so far. Lee Centurions keep their stranglehold at the top of the league table intact, with only 1 defeat all season and winning all the games that they've played apart from that one. Featherstone Rovers are 3 points behind, with Batley Bulldogs jumping into 3rd place as York and Halifax have yet to play. Barrow Raiders come next after their 40 points to 6 win, and they are now 5 points clear of Bradford Bulls, despite Bradford's massive win loss against Newcastle. Widnes Vikings come next after their win, with Sheffield Eagles dropping down a place, and Newcastle are on level points with Sheffield, looking to go above them, but Sheffield have a game in hand. Whitehaven, London Broncos, Dewsbury Rams and Workington Town are the rest of the table. We now look back at the Magic weekend as one of the games, Warrington versus Catalan, had some expensive injuries for both sides. First of all, Gareth Widdop is likely to have played his last game for Warrington after suffering a season-ending shoulder injury in their win over Catalans at Magic weekend. England international suffered a dislocated shoulder in the act of scoring in the first try in their 36 points to 10 win over Catalans Dragons at St James's Park. When asked about this, head coach Daryl Powell said he has dislocated his shoulder. I'll be pretty certain that he won't play again this year, which is really tough for him. He's one of the bravest players you are likely to see. He had to come off, and he's in a lot of pain. I think it took around 10 minutes to get back in, and I don't think he'll play again this year. Medically, he will get checked out. It had to be put back in, so it's obviously a big injury for a player. Widdop is out of contract at the end of the season with the club and has been linked to a move away to fellow Super League side Castleford, as well as a return to Australia. When asked about Widdop's future, Powell replied, "I don't know about the future. I think there will be an announcement soon, but I wouldn't want to speculate from there. But there will be an announcement in the next week, probably." Widdop has made 49 appearances for Warrington since arriving at Warrington ahead of the 2020 season from the NRL side St George Illawarra Dragons. The Halifax-born halfback has won 33 caps in total for Great Britain and England and has played in 2 World Cups for England. Widdop played almost 200 games in the NRL for Melbourne Storm and the Dragons between 2010 and 2019, while racking up more than 1,000 points. On the other side of the pitch, Catalans Dragons coach Steve McNamara has revealed that his captain Ben Garcia nearly lost his ear in a nasty injury at Magic weekend. The Catalans captain left the field with the horrific injury to his ear in their defeats against Warrington, and he said about the injury that he's not good. After the game about Ben Garcia's injury, he nearly took his ear off so his ear couldn't be stitched. It's too bad. We are just awaiting news whether he's going to have surgery now or whether he will hold the airplane back so we can try and get him back with us tonight. But we are not quite sure. We're just waiting on news from the plastic surgeons across at the hospital. We're on hold whether we go back together or whether he has to stay overnight. We might have to find an alternative way to get him back tomorrow. With that all said and done, Toulouse and Catalans media, who are a decent source on the French clubs, ins, outs, injuries, so on and so forth, posted this on Twitter not too long ago. Latest on Ben Garcia for all those asking. He was treated in the hospital for a terrible injury to his ear, but has been stitched up, and he has joined his teammates on the flight home. We wish him all the best and get well soon if that is still the case. We finish off today's episode with a look into the Betfred League One, as there were 4 fixtures that were played and 1 called off for mitigating circumstances. We'll go through that first of all. As first, the game between Skolars and Keighley was called off due to a doctor shortage. On their website, they issued a statement on the 9th of July 2022. With the Skolars regular doctor unavailable and a number of other doctors used by the club in the past also unable to attend the game, after an extensive search, the club has been unable to find a suitable replacement, and after consultation with the RFL, they decided to cancel the Betfred League One game at the New Rivers Stadium, Skolars vs Keighley Cougars. It's been a unique situation this week, explains club chairman Adrian Frayne. Eid started this week, ruling out several doctors we've used in the past, and there's also a huge demand this weekend in the A&E department in London. We've tried a number of our different agencies to find a doctor without success, with both those reasons cited as a factor for the lack of suitable agency doctors. Given the long journey faced by the Cougars, we did not want to be in a position tomorrow where we had to cancel the game when they had already started that journey. Having suffered a huge defeat at Keighley earlier in the season, we wanted to give a good account of ourselves in the return game at home, and showed how much our young squad has improved over the last 2 months. It's very disappointing to have had to postpone the game, but we've exhausted every alternative to get the game played. In a further statement on social media, July 9th, London Skolars and Keighley Cougars has been cancelled despite extensive efforts. Skolars are unable to provide appropriate medical cover, i.e. a doctor, in line with the game's operational rules. The matter will be now referred to the RFL's compliance for further consultation. This is due to the rules that were set out in the medical standards booklet of 2020 that the RFL used since their centenary year announcement, which has a whole appendix to do with club doctors. Looking at that for full-time clubs, for the purpose of medical standards, a full-time club is one which is not playing a Super League but has the budget to spend, or spending $750,000 or more on contracted players for the applicable season. Well, they have to provide within the operational rules as published a doctor for every single game. As you see in A2, and the doctor must be fully registered with the GMC, possesses the appropriate professional indemnity insurance, hold a current IMMOFP qualification. It is best practice to hold a diploma in sports medicine or equivalent, which is needed for every game. The cynic in me says that with the operational rules compliance board convening, it will offer a 38 or 42 points to nil victory over the Skolars to Keighley, which might be the best case scenario with Keighley Cougars absolutely flying at this point. But Skolars have pulled off some good results this year and might have done something against Keighley. So it may get rearranged, it may not. But the options are that they need to have one. Full stop. Anyway, enough about the hypothesizing. Here are the rest of round 14's league fixtures. Cornwall had an interesting day on Saturday's opening game as they were beaten 10 points to 44 and had to play most of the game with 12 men. It was a day to forget, but Ray and Rustling converting a try, got all the points for Cornwall's in the first half. Wilson Boas, who scored twice, set Doncaster on the way. Ollett, Cocaine, Johnson with 2, Tally and Halliday all got the rest of the tries, while Robinson and Wilson Boas got the conversions. We think it's Collins that got sent off in the game for Cornwall, but I may be wrong in that front. And just checking the match reports, it was indeed Luke Collins who was sent off for dissent or foul language at this point. The other game that was played on Saturday was the Midland Hurricanes versus North Wales Crusaders, and it was a Crusaders that went in 46 points to 16 victors. It was one-way traffic throughout the entire game, with odd patches where Midlands got over the try line. Welham got a couple of tries and Newbound scored once, while Stead kicked 2 goals for the Hurricanes. North Wales Crusaders had Eckley, Massam, who scored twice, Johnson, Houghton, who scored twice as well, Reed and Barrett, all going over for tries, while Johnson kicked 7 goals. Moving on to Sunday's games, we see Hunslet had beat West Wales Raiders 54 points to 6 in a one-sided game. Hunslet went in with Syme, Watson twice, Stableford twice, Hallett twice, Burton, Turner and Pagger all getting on the try-scoring sheets, while Burrell scored 7 conversions. Hutton and Tyra were the only point scorers for West Wales in the second half, after it was 34 points to 0 at half-time. And finally, in what was be a very good affair for the rugby league purists, as it's a postcode derby, Oldham were beaten by Rochdale 50 points to 24 in a free-scoring game. Oldham had led 24 points to 6 at half-time, with Andrade, Copeland, Wellington and Openshaw all scoring a try apiece, while Ridyard scored 4 conversions in a one-sided first half. But came the backlash from Rochdale Hornets, as Rangi Chase starred with a hat-trick of tries. Sheridan scored, Callard, Rogers twice, O'Keefe and Bennion all got a try apiece for Rochdale's 50 points, while McNally and O'Keefe with 6 conversions finished off the scoring in a 44 points to 0 second half turnaround. Well, look what that does to the top of the entire league. Keighley missed out on a performance, but stayed top of the tree with 4 points clear, despite North Wales Crusaders winning at to close the gap. Rochdale Hornets, with their 44 points to 0 second half turnaround, moving to second place, while Swinton Lions missed out this weekend due to their weekend off. Doncaster move up on equal points with with Swinton on 18 in 5th place, while Hunslet are on 15 points, with half the table almost on single digits after 12 games. Oldham are 12th, with Midland Hurricanes a point behind at 8th, equal with London Skolars. Then Cornwall and West Wales Raiders are on 2 points apiece, with Cornwall bettering the points difference against West Wales Raiders. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share the video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are in today's episode in the comments below. Tell me what your performance of the weekend is, and what your thoughts are of the injuries to Ben Garcia and Gareth Widdop. Does that spell the end of his time at Warrington? We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, tell me in the comments below what your thoughts are. I like Rochdale's performance in this league, definitely. 24 points to 6 down at half-time, winning 44-0 in the second. That's one-way traffic of a different gravy, seriously. What's your thoughts? Anyway, I digress, and I will stop influencing you for your comments. It's your opinion that I want to hear from. I know I give you mine, but I like the conversation. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, please stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.